apologize for the ones who were waiting for the start of the tour. We had a bit technical problems. And first, please let me check the sound. Could you please write down in the chat? So guys, please send me a message in the chat if you hear me and see the screen. Hello everyone again. Somebody please write down in the chat if you hear me and see the picture. And we're gonna start. Hi everyone who joined, and again I apologize for some technical problems. We are ready to start. I just need this sign from you if you hear. Okay, thanks Nick, thanks a lot. So guys, hello everyone. My name is Masha. I'm your locally in Moscow, and we are here now in the city center of Moscow, and today we're going to make a tour with you. Finally, I'm very glad that you are with us. Thanks a lot for your patience, but trust me, that's worth it. So a bit more about the tour. So we are now, as I told you, in the very city center, and today we are going to make a tour with you along the main arteria of the city, across the Tverskaya street, which is just behind me. And during this half an hour, maybe a bit more tour, we will find out with you a lot of interesting facts about the city and the street itself. Moreover, I'll tell you some interesting facts and stories and mysteries. I will give you some very important and useful tips what is worth to see and buy here. And of course, you will just enjoy the beautiful views of Moscow city, because really the weather is good today. There is almost no wind and it's very, very warm. So it was about plus 25 today. So everything, excluding technical things, unfortunately, is really here to help you enjoy the tour. So welcome everyone again who joined us. So my name is Masha, and we are finally doing a tour again there along their main artery of Moscow city center. I would like to remind you about their chat, which you have right here. If you have any questions and you want to comment something about the tour, not only about those particular places, but about Russia and Moscow in general, please feel free. We are here for this, and enjoy the tour. So now I turn my camera and we finally start. To everyone who just joined the tour, a warm welcome. So guys, we are here in the heart of Moscow city center, nearby Tverskaya street, which is over there. But I'm going to start my tour a bit from another place, from this particular part, which is Pushkinskaya Square, named by the name of this very well known, the most popular poet of Russia, Alexander Sergeyevich Pushkin. But actually, this monument was here not for a long time. For almost 300 years, here on this particular place was a beautiful, big, magnificent monastery, Strasnoy Monastery, which was founded at the end of 17th century and was here till the beginning of the 20th century. But unfortunately, as you know, in the Soviet Union times, there was really a fight against religion, and the Soviet Union government decided really to destroy religion, making people feel that there is no God and religion is just a drug for citizens, and there is no need in those such places like monasteries and churches. So first, as you can understand, what they did with this beautiful women's monastery, very old and very big one, which was just over here. First, they did an anti-religious museum in the walls of this monastery. Then that was a head office of anti-religious union of all their Soviet Union people. That was such a union. But unfortunately, in the 1937, they decided to demolish their monastery itself. So the only thing which reminds us now that it was here is this small monument in the center of the square. So this sad story tells us about those times when, during the Soviet period time, the appearance of the square and their Moscow itself was really changing significantly. For example, only on the Tverskaya street, more than 5 different churches, cathedrals and monasteries were demolished. So unfortunately, Strasnaya Monastery was one of this. But as we started to talk with you about Pushkin a bit, so let me put here a comment. Maybe some of you know that he is a very well-known poet of not only Moscow citizens, but all Russians. And just to make you feel how much we love Alexander Sergeyevich Pushkin, let me give you the names of some hotspots over here. So the square itself is called by his name, Pushkinskaya Square. This big building just in front was before one of the biggest cinemas, and now it's a music hall. Now it's called Россия, but before it was Pushkinsky Cinema Theater. If we turn a bit here, just a bit, we will find the closest subway station. There is the entrance over here, and of course, as you can guess, the name of it is Pushkinskaya Station. If we go straight there, just 500 meters straight, there'll be one of the most famous restaurants, which is called Pushkinsky. So next time you meet somebody from Russia, don't tell him that, oh, Russia, I know the vodka. Tell him, oh, Russia, I know Pushkin. So that will break the ice much better than speaking about vodka, matryoshka, or balalaika. So, but we move on. We start our tour, as I promised to you, along their Tverskaya street. And this is exactly this one. Actually, we are now standing in their almost middle of it. But we are going this way, which is a way straight to Red Square. So about 15-20 minutes work and you'll be there. A bit more about their street itself. So it's a green light, so let's move on a bit faster. Meanwhile, I will show you the beautiful views of the city. Now it's going darker, but when it's dark, it's not less beautiful, trust me. So here we go, a little bit more, and we are here. So as you can understand, today Tverskaya is the main street of Moscow city, but actually it was like that all the times. During the old times, this particular street was the main road, the main way to a very strategically important point of all Russia, which was this way exactly, and that was the road to another city of Russia, which is Tver. And Tver for a very long time was an important commercial and political partner and competitor of Moscow. So that's why the main road which was leading to this city was the main of the city itself. Nowadays, Tver is a small city comparing to Moscow. It's only about 500,000 inhabitants. Just to compare, Moscow nowadays has officially about 10 million citizenships, and non-officially even up like twice more. So as you can see in here, Moscow Tverskaya Street is very, I would say, intense. So there is lots of cars and pedestrians. There is about 8 lines for cars, but before it was even more, to be honest. It was more lines for cars and less line for pedestrian zone. Just a couple of years before, there was a big project by the Moscow government to make more space for pedestrians and to make a city for the citizenships. So what they did, they made their amount of lines for cars smaller, but they made the line for the pedestrians bigger. And in this way, of course, as you can see, the city is very comfortable just to have a walk, and that's why it's super popular among citizens and tourists just to walk around it. Somebody is calling Tverskaya Street their Champs-Élysées of Moscow. Honestly, I can say that there is some similarities, but in fact, Tverskaya Street has its own unique things and features, which I'm going to tell you during this tour as well. So one more thing which I want to press here, and one more place which I would like to show you before we move on, is this particular building and place, which is actually a supermarket, but not just a normal one. And that's why I invite you and strongly recommend you, if you are here, to come inside and see it yourself. So now let's go inside and see what's there. So just a bit about the situation with the coronavirus in Moscow. So of course, if you come inside the supermarkets, you have to wear masks. So what we are doing right here. So here we go, guys. And just look at those beautiful views of Yeliseyevsky supermarket. As you can, yes, a lot of waves, yes. This is a magnificent place, and somebody is really calling it a museum. Somebody are calling it an art gallery, but this is really a miracle of the architecture. And just look around, all those things. Sometimes you really forget what you're coming here for because you really feel yourself like you're not in a supermarket but in a museum. Look at those ceilings, look at those beautiful lamps. But at the same time, as you can see, this is really a supermarket. Not a simple one in terms of the price. It's a bit more expensive than others, but in general, yeah, it is open for everybody. So a bit about the history of this beautiful place. This supermarket was opened as a real supermarket in the 1901 by this gentleman whose name is Grigory Yeliseyev. He was a merchant, a very well-known merchant, who increased his wealth with their producing and selling different exotic goods such as fruits, cheese, olive oil, some different types of tea, some different types of rare wines, and so on. So of course he wanted to open his own big supermarket, and he did it both in Moscow and in St. Petersburg. So by the way, in St. Pete there is also a copy of this supermarket, which is also called Yeliseyevsky. So if you are there, go for sure. I strongly recommend also to visit that one as well. An interesting fact about this particular supermarket is about their approach of selling here. For sure, Yeliseyev was a really great entrepreneur, so he found out some very useful tips and things how to sell products better. Of course, from the beginning, this store was mostly for wealth and rich people, so their sellers had to know a couple of languages, and of course, their level of products was a very high level one. So it was not for everybody, of course. But Yeliseyev, for example, was the first one who invented their type of putting the products in a pyramid, which was really the symbol of wealth and richness. So after that, a lot of different stores all over the world started to use this as well. One more interesting fact about this store is connected with this particular department, which is a wine department. And let's go inside and I'll tell you more. So the thing is that during their Russian Empire time, there was a rule that was not even a rule, that was a law, that it was prohibited to open the wine stores and departments closer than 100 meters from the churches or monasteries. And as you can remember, just nearby here there was a Strasnoy monastery. So, and the thing is that the distance was only 90 meters, so was a bit less than the allowed it one. So what did the Yeliseyev with that? He just opened the department, this part of the store, but he made one more door. Now it's another part of the store, but here was also a wine part. So he opened one more door here, and that was the entrance to the wine department. And measuring from this one, the distance to the Strasnoy monastery was more than 100 meters. So in this way, he really managed to overcome the rule. So as you can see, department is pretty big. Sometimes it's really good just to walk around here to see what is there. You can find here lots of nice souvenirs, of course Russian ones like matryoshka. Also there is, I also always like to watch this. So there is, it is vodka which is put into their like Fabergé egg. The price is pretty attractive, just about 1,000 euro. So if you are dreaming about something like that, you're warmly welcome. You know where to get it right now. Of course, they have a lot of different types of Russian vodka and also other different types of wines and something else. So, but let's go back. Let's move on. We have a big tour ahead. So just look around to this beautiful store one more time. But as we are going to the exit, I want to give you one very important tip, because some of my friends from abroad, they are really asking me what to bring from Russia, what to buy as a souvenir to my friend and family. So here I want to give you a tip. What I strongly recommend to bring from Russia is Russian chocolate sweets, which we have a lot of different types of. They are really very high quality, and comparing to the prices in Europe, they are really cheap. You know, I have a friend from Belgium, and when he was here, I was surprised how many chocolates, Russian chocolates, he was buying. And I asked him simply, so why you buy so much if you are from Belgium? Because Belgium is really, I would say, the paradise for chocolate lovers. And he told me that, you know, of course Belgium is famous for it, but you cannot find there such a big amount of sweets with wafels, with grapes, with jam, with some jelly, with some crisps. So Russian sweets are very well known for very different types of internal stuff. And that's why a lot of Europeans really love them. So if you are here, I strongly recommend you to bring one pack of those sweets, which are pretty cheap. So such a pack will cost you less than €5, to be honest. And that will be a very good present for everybody abroad. So if you want to bring it, if you are walking here around, maybe you'll really come to city-Tverskaya and buy a pack for your family or friends. But let's go back. So we have a lot of things to show to you ahead. So look at these beautiful doors. So everything is very posh here. You see, even the walls are really marvelous. So here is the mirrors. Okay, let's go out. So Tverskaya Street is waiting for us. Okay guys, let's go back and continue our tour. So there was a question about the safety in Moscow and in the city center in general. So I can say that honestly, Moscow is super safe for tourists and for citizens. It is really okay and safe to walk around here even late evening and night. So I honestly, I was doing this for a couple of times and there were no problems. We have a lot of police, and so it's really safe. I know that in some countries and in some capitals, like in France and Paris, it's not super welcome to work when it's late. But I'm very proud to say that in Moscow it's super safe and you really can do it, well, maybe not all night long, of course, and you will, of course, need to keep an eye on your bags as well, as always, but you will not have any problems, so you can walk around here. So, I see Nick's comment, just keep holding my finger on the heart icon. This is the best tour of Moscow I share with all my friends from abroad. Thanks, Nick, a lot. That's the best compliment for me. So, but we didn't start yet, so let's move on. And I want to tell you one very interesting story about walking houses of Moscow city center. But before this, as we started to talk about houses, I want to ask you, and I ask you kindly to write down your opinions in the chat. What do you think? How much does it cost an apartment here on Tverskaya Street? Let's say 100 square meters apartment. I will give you a hint in millions euros. So put your comments into the chat. What do you think? How many millions of euros does it cost to buy an apartment here on Tverskaya Street? So put your comments down. So meanwhile, I will tell you that Tverskaya is one of the most expensive streets, not only in Russia, but in the world itself. And of course, the prices here can be enormous. Even though I cannot understand, to be honest, how people can really survive here, just because it's always traffic jam. There is always lots of cars, and even now it's not so much because it's like Sunday evening, but during the working week, especially in the morning, it's always traffic jams here, so it's impossible. Honestly, I don't understand. So there is an opinion that it's 40 billion euros. Who can have another? 3.4 million, 5 million euro. Okay, we have like an auction. Okay, guys, 5 million. Okay, thank you. So the thing is, guys, that I have checked before the tour, so the information is pretty new. It's really, really fresh, so you can trust it. So the apartment of 100 square meters here will cost you around 15 million euros. Just to compare, the price for such an apartment, like in the city center, somewhere in Milan, will cost 3 times less. And as we're speaking, if we're talking about apartments here, you should understand that sometimes it's really an old school, old style apartments without design, without like a good beautiful furniture. So it's just an apartment. Yes, 15 million. So if you want to buy, if you have like a 15 million, you don't know what to do with them, you are very welcome to buy an apartment somewhere here on Tverskaya Street. So, but we are moving on, and we are close to one more point and interesting place which I want to tell you about. Actually, this is a bookstore whose name is Moscow. This is really one of the most famous and one of the beloved places of all the Moscow citizenships, just because Russians and Moscow people in general, it is really a very reading nation. So according to the statistics, Russia is on the second place in the world in terms of the amount of reading people. So by the way, what do you think? Who is on the first place? As I'm coming in, you can put your comments into the chat. So let's go inside, and I'll tell you why I want to pay your attention to this particular bookstore. So the bookstore itself is huge. There are lots of different departments with thousands of different books. Not only in Russian, you can find here something on foreign languages, especially on English. So they have a very nice, beautiful pillows over here, so you can even sit for a while and read some books. So, but let's go this way, because the thing which I wanted to show you is just nearby this way. So just for a small amount of money, by the way, you can even pack your book into a very nice coverage. Here is a big department and a lot of different types of coverages. So if you buy something here as a present, and the book is a very good present, so you can even pack it here. But we are not going this way to see all the books which they have here, because we are interested in this particular department, which is the department of antique books. And I'll tell you later why I want to pay your attention to this. So the reason, to be honest, is those particular posters, which are the posters from the Soviet Union times. So I'll stand a bit aside to show you, so you'll see this better. So in general, Soviet Union time was the period of agitation. So posters were really part of the culture. There were lots of different, and some of them were really well known for all over the world. Of course, nowadays they are not used so much because we're not in Soviet Union anymore. But here, in this particular bookstore, you are able to buy one of this just over here. So they have a collection of posters. Of course, they have a lot of antique books, historical things and as well. But I'm personally here interested for those particular posters, which will cost you around 3, maybe 10, maximum 20 euros. They are about A3 size. They have different ones. Here are only the examples. But what I want to say that if you want to bring something for your friends from Russia, you can buy some of those posters, put it into a nice frame. Sorry, it's not very convenient to show you. So some of them are really very agitation, but some of them are pretty nice. And that can be a really nice design part of your house. So if you're looking for something special, not for a magnet or for maybe sweets, if you don't eat them, just go here and buy for 5 euros this nice present for you or your friends. So this is just a tip where to find it, because as I know, it's not so easy. But this particular bookstore, sell a lot of them. But let's go upstairs. The time is really flying. So even though the store is working till 10, which is a lot for the bookstore, but we are going to move on with our tour. I love this store, honestly. So this is my personal recommendation, and I will be very glad if you will like it. So let's go back to Tverskaya Street. Okay. By the way, as we see a tree, let me give you a few comments about it. So the trees were here not always. During the Soviet times, they were a beautiful alley of lindens, but then they were cut down, unfortunately. And a couple of years before, during this project, as I told you, they have planted a lot of new trees, because they want to return the appearance of the Soviet, I would say, Soviet style a bit, appearance of the street. And actually there was even the project which was called Active Citizen. And the aim of this project was to give a chance to every citizen of Moscow to choose, for example, the color of the stone which will be used for the street. So really the citizens on the website could vote for some particular details or decisions made for the reconstruction of the street. So as you can understand, the color of this, not the beautiful part, the most beautiful, but the color of this ground was chosen by the citizens of Moscow. Meanwhile, we are here with you nearby one more interesting hotspot which I'm going to tell you about. And this is this particular building, which is huge, magnificent and very beautiful. So actually nowadays, and for a long time of course, that was the building of Moscow government. And the history of this building is connected with walking. So this particular house is called the walking house of Moscow, and I will explain you why. So just let's stand here in front. So in the beginning of 20th century, there was a general plan of the reconstruction of all Moscow, and in particular of Tverskaya Street. It is said that Stalin himself has made red lines along all the Tverskaya Street, and all the buildings which were out of this line were either demolished or moved. So in this way they were trying to make a perfect Tverskaya Street, which was white, which was perfectly straight, and which was really like the way to the bright Soviet Union future. So this particular building, of course, as you can understand, was out of this line, but as it was a very strategically important building, they decided not to demolish it, and they decided to move it. But here appeared three problems. First of all, the building is very huge. The weight of it is about 23,000 tons. Just to compare, at this period of time, the world record in terms of moving the houses was in USA, and that was the moving of 8th-floor telephone station, whose weight was about 11,000. So, as you can understand, this particular building was more than twice heavier. One more thing, which was a problem, is that the first level, the first floor of the building, had a big, beautiful ballroom. So as you can understand, ballroom is a big open space with a lack of support, and if you move a house, if you move a building, so it can really just simply destroy it. It can really fall down. The third thing, which was really rather difficult, is that they decided to move it with all the people inside. They didn't want to disturb them, not to make panic. So they decided to move the building with the people and not switching off communications like water, electricity, gas and other things. So as you can understand, people were just working and didn't know that they are moving. So they succeeded, as you can understand, as the building is still here. They moved the house only for 41 minutes, and they moved it for 13 meters. So that's, in this way, they really made a world record in terms of the moving of the houses with the people in such a short period of time. So nowadays, as I told you, this is a building of Moscow government, and of course just in front, unfortunately now it's not very well seen, but here is the statue of the founder of Moscow. Here you can see, just a second. Yeah, of course, a monument in front of the building. So here, I'm so sorry, but this is the covers. This is the preparations for the next Moscow event, I would say, because we have a lot of different festivals for different topics. So this one will be very soon. Some of them are connected with historical things. Some of them are connected with some like our spring or autumn or summer festivals. But this one is now in a process of preparation. But we're moving on with you. To be honest, I made a turn. So we're coming away a bit from Tverskaya Street because I want to show you one very interesting thing connected with a place nearby. So now we are coming closer to Stoleshnikov переулок. And on the way to this, I will want to show you a very nice place, just a hidden, I would say, place, but which is super nice. And if you are here, I strongly recommend to stay here, to stop here and have a look. As you can see, it is hidden, but if you hear, there sounds of water. And I'll give you a teaser. There is one of their survived statues of Lenin just behind. The thing is that during the Soviet Union times, there were lots of monuments and sculptures of Lenin across not only Moscow but Russia itself. But after that, a lot of them were demolished. But this particular one really survived, and it's still here in the Moscow city center, in a very nice place which I personally like a lot. So if you are here, if you are tired after a walk across the Tverskaya street, you can really sit here for a little time. Just in front there is a fountain. Let me show you a bit closer. So it's a super romantic place. Unfortunately, here, as I told you, there are some reconstruction details, but still it is really beautiful, especially in the evening. So as you can understand, Tverskaya is beautiful either during the day or during the evening. So here is the Lenin. But let's move on. I want to show you one more thing, very nice one, and also tell you about the place just nearby, which makes people, especially the citizens of Moscow, always laugh when they are nearby, and I will tell you why. Meanwhile, we are passing with you already Stoleshnikov Переулок, which is a super nice place full of different cozy restaurants and bars and shops. For example, this particular place, which we see right now, is called Km20. This is either a restaurant or a boutique store where there are some design clothes. So they have like 3 levels, and it's super popular among young people. And it's very nice upstairs. They have a vegan kitchen, so a lot of people from some like young generation, they adore this place, and it's super popular. Then we have a couple of very cozy cafes. As you see, there are people here. We still need to wear masks if we go to the restaurants or cafes, some public places. But honestly, I can say that people are here a bit more relaxed than it is needed, because I don't see a lot of people in the masks, even though they have to. And even in their subways, where they are really, it's a rule to put a mask. So sometimes people are wearing it, unfortunately. So as you can see, I think I'm the only one who is wearing masks right now. All other people are just sitting there. But the places itself are super nice. So there is even a karaoke bar. If you want to walk around and have a nice time in the evening, it's one of the best places. If you see those lights sparkling on their ceiling, if I can call it so, it is their it is a part of the street. One of my friends is saying that this part is our tasty part of Stoleshnikov Переулок, and this part is a beautiful part of Stoleshnikov Переулок. So, but the city itself is beautiful, really. We're coming closer to their point, which I wanted to show you and to tell more about. Meanwhile, I'll check your comments and maybe some questions if you ask something. So, okay. Here. So, when people are coming to this particular point and stand nearby Prada Central Boutique, if I can call it so, they sometimes really start to laugh. And for a long time, I couldn't understand why they do so, because there is nothing to laugh about. There is really a Porsche boutiques, Noble, which is one of the most expensive restaurants in Moscow. So what make them laugh, I couldn't understand for a long period of time. But then one of my friends, he told me the reason of their jokes. And honestly, it is those particular 3 gentlemen on the building in front. If you don't recognize them, it is Marx, Engels, and Lenin. So those guys who were really fighting against capitalism and all of those things connected with luxury. So now they have to look at all those luxury attributes of life. Like restaurant, like boutique, like a perfume store. So according to their faces, as you can understand, they are not so happy about it. But this is like a good, a beloved joke among citizens. So if you see them pretty well, the faces are not so happy. So this is a joke. So I will move on and go a bit closer to the second part of Stoleshnikov переулок. So we're close to the end of our tour because we ran even a bit out of time. But I would like to show you a bit more because it's really beautiful, and I hope that will inspire you to come here. Actually, by the way, here it is another beautiful street of Moscow, Большая Dmitrovka, which is well known as full of bars and shops and restaurants, very nice places to sit, to eat, and just to walk. Honestly, I like to walk around here, especially in the evening, so I'm really glad that our tour was a bit late, because during the day you will not feel the real atmosphere of those streets. Now we're here at the second part of Stoleshnikov переулок, and I'll just stay here for a moment and give you a chance to enjoy the beautiful views of this street. This is one of the beloved places of all the bloggers because the photos are here really nice. You don't even have to use something special, just stay in the middle. By the way, what is it? So somebody can guess what is the shape? Okay, I have already shown you the sculpture Agata. Okay, we'll tell you. So this particular sculpture is not for a long time here, only for a couple of years. So it was made by our very well-known architecture, and this is, in general, this is a sculpture of a Russian matryoshka. The shape of it is not very recognizable from this side, but it is known as a like modern art. But let's move on and just walk around Stoleshnikov переулок. So here is this street is very well known for its luxury shops. So it's one of the most expensive one in terms of the shopping. And if we go closer to the end, we hear the music, because in the evening especially there are lots of guys just singing on the street. So in general the place is super romantic, so if you want to walk here with your couple, so it's a perfect place. By the way, I want to mention that the streets of Moscow, especially those in the city center, are super clean. So I'm proud to say that really, I'm very proud to say that it's one of the most clean city in the world which I visited, and especially the city center. So it is safe, it is clean, it is beautiful, it is super interesting in terms of the amount of places to see, visit, buy, try, taste, and so on. So meanwhile, I kindly remind you about the chat. If you want to ask something, feel free to do this, because we are coming closer to the end of the street where we will finish our tour. So if you want to ask something, feel free to do this right now. So as I told you, it is plus 25, so as you can see, the people are dressed not very warm. Yeah. Okay guys, I think I have already run out of time, but I'm very thankful for all of you who joined the tour, and I hope you liked it, because really Moscow is a city which is impossible not to love, and I was really trying to feel the real heart of it. I'm very glad if I managed. So we're very welcome. We welcome you on other tours of Localie. Subscribe for other tours with other guides. We'll be very happy to share with you the best seasides, hotspots and tips of the cities. So if you don't have any questions, thanks a lot for you to join the tour. Sorry again for some technical problems. And stay with Localie, stay with us, and enjoy. Bye bye. Thank you.